Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So we just got done on my Twitch channel replaying Bratz Rock Angelz for the PS2, and I thought I would come in and, I guess discuss the differences between the PlayStation 2 versions of the outfits and the dolls. And this was actually a subscriber recommended video idea, so I will that right up there. So thank you, Max Stranger, for the comment. I had a lot of fun putting this together. So the first line that we're going to be talking about is the Funkout line, and specifically Wave 1. So, of course, we all know that Funkout is in the game because it is featured in the movie. And we're going to talk first about Yasmin's outfit. So this is Yasmin's primary Funkout outfit. I didn't put the shoes in this one because the shoes are different. The shoes match what she wears in the movie and not necessarily her doll. Same with like her hairstyle and stuff. But as you can see, the tops are really similar. They have the same graphic on them. This one fits the shape of the tank top a little bit better just because this tank top is not as tight as it is here on like this model of Yasmin in the game, which reflects that from the movie, but it is still a white tank top with the same graphic. It is missing the pink lining details that the game version has on the doll version, which I think is a nice touch that they added that. I don't think that that's in the movie, so I kind of like that it's in the game, but Yasmin's top on both doll form and game form are actually really close and pretty similar. So moving on to her pants, the first thing that you can see is this like handkerchief belt thing, very, very early 2000s. And the pattern is the exact same, the colors match. The most striking difference is in her capris, where this is like a darker blue, which it is in the movie too. And most of these outfits are going to be more based on the movie than it is the doll, but I wanted to talk about it. This is more like a distressed like acid wash jean, whereas this is like a true blue denim. Okay, so for Chloe's outfit, you can see that like Yasmin's, there is this same little like bubble heart detailing thing, and it's not super noticeable, not like it is on Yasmin's, but there is a faint pink line up on this neckline like there is on Chloe's doll. And again, with her cargos, you can see like the belt, there's even the pocket detailing and like the cinch, but the cinch is not the same. So I don't know if it's just like the photo or if they just couldn't animate it correctly to get the full cinch, but this is a pretty accurate outfit. And then Sasha's Funkout outfit, it is still a green tank top, which it's plain in the movie too. I wonder if animating this part, like the sequins, they just hadn't done that yet, since I think the first time we really see a bedazzled tank top is probably Forever Diamonds. So they probably just hadn't figured out how to do that yet. But it is a green tank top. The shades of green are not matching, but that's okay because the pants with Yasmin and Chloe didn't really either. But it's nice to see that they even had the little flower applique on her cargo pants, and it's this camo. It's not the same exact like pattern of camo on both ones, but I don't really feel like that makes that much of a difference. I went and looked at all of the outfits that were in the everyday wear when I was playing. So I wanted to look at all the dolls and see if there were any more Funkout dolls and outfits that were included in the everyday wear that are also the dolls. And I noticed that this has a little berry pattern here looking thing and the belt that matches Fiona's Funkout outfit. So I thought that was a really cool detail. And then I was like, Nevers has these little like distressed things, and you can't really see it because of the way that Jade is posed, but these are also distressed and has that black belt. So I thought that was a really fun detail that they added those two pairs of Funkout jeans as well. And you're probably like, Funk and Glow, that's not in this game. Well, it actually is. I did screenshot these and I was like, I wonder what these are from. So I literally just Googled Bratz jeans 2005 and I saw some jeans. And so these ones pulled up and I was like, hey, I recognize that pattern. It's because it's these. It's not the same color denim because this is Sasha's Funk and Glow Wave 2. It might be Wave 1, but this is Sasha's Funk and Glow, and these are her jeans, and it's the same patterns, even though this is a darker denim and this is a lighter, more acid wash distressed denim, but it's the same pattern, so there's no denying that these are the same jeans. And then I was like, I wonder if they did the same thing and they did another Funk and Glow, and sure enough, Yasmin's Funk and Glow jeans are these. These are a little bit more sparkly, but you can see in this picture that there are supposed to be sparkles on these jeans, so I wonder if that's what that was supposed to be, because you can definitely see the ombre. And these are also a different shade. This is a little bit more distressed wash or whatever, but the pink belt is still there. So another one that you might not be expecting is 99. And I did say this on my stream, that this top is Fiona's top from 99 and this top is Sasha's top, because this one is a v-neck for the doll, and this one's straight across, probably because they use like the same like mesh or something that this one is. But you can see that this one is the same as this one, which I believe it's Sasha's because I'm more familiar with hers than I am the other ones. But it has like the lace detailing up here, which hers is also kind of a v-neck and this one's straight across. But they're both pink, even though this one's a darker pink and this one's a lighter pink. Another one that is in everyday wear is Wildlife Safari. It's not anything major, it's just Wildlife Safari Yasmin's top, which it's a little bit thinner here and the stripes are more curvy and the top is also black instead of brown, but this is definitely the same top. So I thought that was really interesting. And there's nothing else from Wildlife Safari. Our first main line of the game is Treasures, which is a given because it's in the movie. And the first one is Chloe's. So this is Chloe's doll, and you can definitely see the inspiration because even though it's like blue with like that black mesh, you can definitely see that they tried. So having like the blue and like the strips, even though it's not completely the same because it's like the black on the top that's ripped and this is just blue with black rips, but that does match the artwork. And I've noticed a lot in this game that most of the outfits match the artwork instead, which is why I have these shoes on here because they match the artwork even though the doll wears boots. And then with the skirt, it's not striped like it is in the doll, but it is that same like handkerchief shape with like the belt kind of, but it matches the artwork. And then the tights are obviously the same. The stripes are different thicknesses between all three variations, but it's okay. And this one is Roxy's doll. So Roxy has this little like couture like top thing with the anchor on it, which is pretty accurate in the game. It says couture, it has the anchor, it even has the little like ruffle things on the sleeves. And then this is her skirt. It is missing the belt, but it does have this like flap thing, and it is not the handkerchief style like Chloe's is. It is more straight across like Roxy's is. And I did forget the shoes, but that's okay. Because the rest of the Treasures shoes are just boots, and it really was this one that was different because all of the dolls wear boots. So, but she does have like the striped stockings and stuff. And then this is where Roxy's artwork went, if you were wondering. I put it on Yasmin's because this is what Yasmin's doll wears. Well, you can tell that they were trying to do like the cutouts that are in the doll's thing, even though it looks more like a lightning bolt, which it does on the artwork as well, looks more like a lightning bolt. So I wonder if that's where like the animators got it from, is from all of the artwork and stuff. But it's supposed to be rips, and I can see that they tried. I mean, it was a low poly rendering for a PS2 game, so we can give them some grace. The skirt is pretty different. It's that same handkerchief style in the game as Chloe's was, even though Yasmin's is like a denim with a lace ruffle. And then she has the boots, and then she has the striped tights, which are again different thicknesses in the stripes, but it's okay. And then this is Yasmin's artwork and the PS2 outfit. It does not have a doll, so we'll just compare it to the PS2 artwork. It is essentially the same. It's just like a white top with like the fishnet sleeves, which is what it is up here. Handkerchief skirt, which is that. And then it even has like the belt details, which I thought was really neat. And then the stripes, different thicknesses, but it's all right. And then these are actually the prototype dolls. So I mentioned it on my stream that the reason why Yasmin is in this is because it matches, like kind of matches this prototype, because Roxy is in this outfit, which is what Yasmin eventually wears, but this is Roxy in the prototype. Or actually it might be Jade, because Jade wears this in the movie, but I just assumed it was Roxy because of, you know, this artwork. And then Chloe's doll didn't really change. And then we have Birthday Bash and Party, Wave 1 specifically, which is what we're going to talk about next. So the first one is Chloe's, and you can definitely see a huge difference here right off the bat. This is a denim with probably like branded something right here is what that probably is supposed to be. Hard to translate on doll form, so I understand. But you can definitely see that this is supposed to be like a denim with like stitching underbust, like bustier or something. This, it's really hard to make out because it's like so low res, but it almost looks like it's like a pinkish red top with like black lace over top, which matches kind of the artwork, but the artwork just looks like it's a black top. So it's really hard to tell. So that's a big difference between those. The skirt is pretty the same. It's like two ruffles. This is more red than this is. This is more pink, which honestly I like the doll version more. And then it has the fishnet tights, which it also has the fishnet tights here. And I did include the shoes over here. They're just red heels, which kind of matches the skirt, even though it's a little bit more red and this leans a bit more pink. It is different because unless it's just wear of these heels, this has like a gap there. So maybe it actually was a full heel. I don't know, just the picture that I used. But these are a little bit more pink. And then the artwork is a little bit more red, which is probably where this color palette comes from. And then we also have this one, which is Yasmin's party outfit. And right away you can tell a difference in color. She does have the little choker thing, but it's more of a scarf. This is a choker and the artwork misses that completely. But this corset is like a royal blue and this is more of like a periwinkle, where the artwork is very purple. So that is a huge difference between the three for sure. And then this skirt is more the periwinkle, which you can see the purple underneath with like the blue tights. And then this is royal blue with the black skirt. So that's pretty accurate, except for it's very like opaque, so you can't see anything under it. And these are more of like a lilac for the tights, which these ones are honestly match the doll a lot more. And then we didn't get Phoebe's doll, but we got some artwork, which the tops are different. And then Sasha's, which the shoes are different, and then the top has more detail on the doll than the artwork does, and the skirt as well. Now moving on to Campfire. There's only like 2 dolls that actually are represented kind of in the game. So the first one is Phoebe's doll, and it's in her dress and her boots. So like these are the boots that are in game, and they match the ones that are on her doll. Her doll's one's a little bit more yellow, where these are more tan. And then this dress that Jade wears in the show, the details are different. She doesn't have like the snowflakes up here, and then these have the trees down here, where I believe this one does not. And then Dana's, it's her dress, which is pretty accurately represented in the game. So you have like the stripes are not all the way up here, but that's okay. And then it has like the dots, and it's the same shape and the same color, even though this is a bit more golden. And then this one is obviously suede. And then it actually goes with this artwork of Yasmin, even though it doesn't have the purple plaid on it. And then the shoes are the same. So these ones are a little bit more tan in the game than they are on the doll, where they're a little bit more golden here. And then on Yasmin's artwork, they're also there too, and this one as well. Now we're moving on into ones that are in the game but that are not on the doll. So this outfit right here is this top and bottom set with these boots. This top and bottom set with these little clogs are this outfit right here. And then this outfit right here are one of these 2 boots, probably this one, but I want to put this on here just in case, with this top and these pants. And then this outfit is these boots and one of these 2 pants. They both look about the same. And then this little sweater combo right here. And then these ones were some miscellaneous like campfire outfits that didn't belong to any artwork or any dolls. I did want to bring up the prototypes. So the prototype of that dress is the same as like her regular doll, and also matches very well with the PS2 one. And then this dress specifically, which we see Jade wear in the show, it has the detailing down here as opposed to the detailing up here. So the prototype doll actually matches that dress a lot better than the actual doll does. And if you notice, they all wear their prototype outfits in the TV show. Now moving on to Shreddit. This outfit is a hybrid combination between Chloe's second outfit top and her first outfit pants. It doesn't match her shoes at all in either outfit, which is really sad. So the most obvious difference right away is the tops between both the doll and the PS2. There's a lot more fabric, especially like the addition of straps on Chloe's doll, and those are missing in the PS2 version. There's noticeably less fabric just in general on the PS2 model as opposed to the actual like doll, where this like goes all the way down and this is just like a bandeau top. Even the artwork, it has a little bit more, but it's still kind of a bandeau top, and it's the same color orange, where this is like a lighter orange, but it's still ruched in all 3 iterations. And then the jeans, they are a different color. These are lighter and more distressed than the PS2. These ones are like a true blue denim, which matches the artwork a lot more, but it still has these fun little, and then the shoes in the game that go with this outfit actually match the shoes that the artwork does or has, as opposed to what the doll has. Now Jade's is very similar. It has like this girl with the face and the pigtails. The bows are bigger on the doll than they are here, and the cheeks are different color for the blush, but it's still basically the same thing. Because they made this graphic so big, they didn't have enough room to put doll face, but it does have the hem lining of the black on the t-shirt on both the doll and in the PS2 game, which you can see that over here on her artwork as well. And then her skirt is different between the doll and in the PS2 game. This looks more like a 3-tiered denim skirt, whereas this is a blue tulle skirt. And the artwork over here also seems to be a 3-tiered blue denim skirt instead of the tulle skirt that the doll has. The boots are the same across the board as these tall blue ones, and it even has the silver strap across the ankle. So that is accurate across all three. And then for Megan's, her doll is a little bit more detailed. The denim of her bustier is a little bit darker than this one is. It still has the stitch detailing, but this detailing is in tan, which matches the bows, as opposed to this one just being in denim. It still has the collar, but it doesn't have the sleeves. It's just the tank top. And then the ruffles and the ties are 2 different colors on the doll, as opposed to here where it's the same color. And then her pants, these are like a true khaki, where these ones are more cream. It still has that like braided fringe belt. Can't really see it with the way that she's posing, but she does have it. And then you can see that the artwork is also very similar, still like that darker blue as opposed to this like really dark blue. And then the pants, where these are more khaki and these are more cream, but it's still pretty much the same across the board. The shoes, these are very similar, but I don't know if they're supposed to be these shoes or these shoes, because neither of these shoes truly match what these shoes are. And then Sasha's doll, I assume are actually probably these shoes instead of these shoes, now that I'm really looking at it, because you can see like the brands right there that keep it together, and she also has it on her doll. And then this top is a lot cuter in the doll form than it is here. It does have like that sweetheart neckline, where this one's straight across. It is still like a denim tank top. This has a weird green line. I don't know if that's like a glitch in the game or whatever, but it always does that whenever I play it. It does have that stitch detailing in a different color, which is good because it matches the dolls. It doesn't have like the gathered bust right here. And it's a pretty accurate blue representation, where this is like a true blue denim, and you can tell that it is here too. Her pants, these are more brown with a dark brown braided belt, which you can see comes straight from the artwork, whereas these are like a tan with like a burnt sienna type brown. So the color difference is there. These also have the little studs on the side, which the artwork does too. The doll doesn't have studs until like down here at the bottom though. So that is another difference. And then Yasmin's, it's pretty much the same. The doll's one is a little lower as opposed to the PS2 one, but it does still have that stitch detailing up here, which is pretty good considering that it's on a PS2. It's only missing one from this row, because it's 3 and 3, or this is 4 and 3, but it's pretty accurate. I can't tell if that's a brown, but I'm going to assume that it is. Same color wise and style wise. It also matches this artwork over here, which is the same across the board. And then this skirt, it's missing another tier, because this one I think makes it a little bit longer, where it's like the one short ruffle and the 2 long, as opposed to just the 2 ruffles. But it does have that belt. It just doesn't have that tie with it, so it's missing that. But it's pretty spot on color wise. Now you can see that it has the same belt without the fringe, and then 3 ruffles over here on the artwork, which means that this definitely comes from the artwork more than it comes from the doll. And then these shoes are different than these shoes, but these shoes match the doll, except for the platforms, which are more yellow as opposed to this being a tan. But that seems to be a trend, where things are tan in Bratz world, they're sometimes more yellow. Moving on to Sporty Flare. They're not dolls for it, it's just based on these artworks, which is these are the artworks from the game, and then this is artwork from that blanket that I had as a child. So this is Phoebe's outfit. We can see that she has like this pink t-shirt with a 14 on it, which is right here, even though the 14s are different colors. And this is a slightly different color. This is a little bit more pastel, where this is a little bit more, what's that word? Saturated, I guess. Same with this skirt. You can see that it's the same skirt because it's got the same shape and style and then kind of color pattern, but this is pretty much light pink all around, where this one's like a darker pink with white underneath. And then these boots, these are really light pink with like the dark heels and toes. Same, but this one's more pastel and this one's more saturated. Now this one is like super different because this is like a reddish pink, like a scarlet pink, almost like Chloe's party outfit, like her artwork for that. But this is like true red. But you can see this is the same outfit because it's the same shape, like this V-neck type tank. But this one has Bratz on it, and this one doesn't seem to have anything on it unless we just can't see it clearly. This is the same mini skirt because it's also got that little dangly thing here, and it has the striped tights. And then these are the same red shoes. So other than the color, it's a pretty good match other than this added graphic. And then this is this tank top, even though there are stripes on this one and that's missing on this. It is pretty spot on, and it's just pretty spot on color wise, especially with this one where it's like the lighter skirt with the darker band, lighter skirt, darker band, and then these shoes that match. And then this one's Chloe's. It's not the same shade of blue, but it's pretty good considering what Jade's was. So it's like this tank top with the little tie right here, and then it's these like denim capris that also has a little tie in the belt. And then these shoes, you can see like the little circle studs right over here by the toes. And then for Yasmin, she has this like zip up hoodie with the flower and then the top underneath, which you can see the zip up hoodie and the flower in the top underneath. Now the skirt is a white skirt in the PS2, but it's still purple over here in the artwork. But it does still have that flower, which is here. And then the purple fishnet tights, which are here. And then the boots, which still have that little fraying right here, which you can see in the PS2 version. And then this outfit that is on the blanket, she has that crisscross neck, which is here with the little short sleeve cardigan. They even have the details of the buttons, which I think is cute. And then she has these like, these are more wide leg sweatpants, so maybe it's just the way that she's standing that you can't really see that. But it still has the tie. It doesn't matter that it's in a bow because they're sweatpants. But it has the 14 here, which these seem to be darker on the blanket than it is over here. And then she's wearing purple shoes, which we have those purple heels in game. And then this dress is completely different. It's like red and white striped, still with the fishnet tights. You just can't see them right now. But it's like white and red stripes on the shirt, where this is more of like a purple and a pink stripe. And then this sweetheart neckline where this is like scalloped across. And then this is red. And then this seems to be more of red, but it's probably more of that like pinky red that the other one is. And then the shoes are the same, where it's like the heels with like the bow straps. You can't really see the bow straps at this angle, but they are there. And then this top, it's more of like a sailor top. Still with the 14. The 14's on the other side, but MGA likes to flip their artworks, which you can see a lot on Yasmin, so that's really annoying. And then even the diagonal straps of the heels are there with the toes, except for this part is still blue, even though there's white on the other parts, and this part of the heel's white. She again has these little denim capris, which I didn't think that these ones were the blue sweatpants because they don't really match, because this has like the belt and the capris and the blue sweatpants didn't. So I put them by themselves, which maybe they are, and you can tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. But it also was missing the 14, so I didn't include that. And then this is another Sasha outfit. You can see it's similar to Yasmin's, where it has like that blue top, which you can see here, and then whatever this thing is on her little lapel. And then she has these jeans, which these just look to be regular denim jeans. These are kind of like a greeny tone, but they match this, so that's okay. And then it has the belt and then the stitch detailing on the front. And then I believe that these are the same shoe, but you can't really tell. So, because these ones are like white with the teal, and then you can't really tell what these ones are supposed to be. They don't really truly match, but they don't match the other ones either. And then these are ones that I couldn't find artwork that matched for it, but they're still there. Now on to Pretty and Punk. These are all like the dolls that are used, like these two, and then this one, and then these two, and then this one. So first up is Chloe's. So Chloe's first outfit is this top right here, where it's like a cold shoulder, but it's like got this zip and it has London on it. It is translated really well in the PS2. It is missing the London part, but it's still that cold shoulder with that zip, and it is kind of the same 3/4 sleeve that this is. And then next we have her pants, which these are like a true blue deep denim, and so are these. It even has the Union Jack stripes on there. These ones are more squished than these ones, and these legs are wider. These ones seem to be more straight leg. And then we have her second outfit top, which still has like the zipper and like the Union Jack, but it's pink, where this one is like very copy and paste from the Union Jack, and the zipper is red, which I believe that they actually pull from this design in the movie as opposed to this design right here. But you can see in her artwork, she has like the skirt and the top. And then this is Jade's second outfit, which it translates really well. It's probably hard to do like the meshing in PS2 version, so they just opted for some cutouts, which honestly I think works. This jacket is supposed to be like a leather or a pleather, which the texture over here in the PS2 makes it almost look like it's suede, but it's pretty good. And then this pink skirt with like the black over top is this right here. It's a darker pink in the game, but I think it works and it's really cute. And then this is that artwork for that right there. You can't really see the pink checks in this one, probably because it's so low res, but it's pretty similar all across, like Chloe's. Now this is my favorite outfit from Pretty in Punk. It's Megan's first outfit. So we have her top right here, which you can tell that this is supposed to be the fishnet, even though it's like bigger fishnet than what it is on her actual doll. But she still has like that detailing right here with the neck and the bust area with these little like brand things right here. And then her pants still have that same belt. It is still the same color scheme with the plaid, even though these ones are closer together check and these ones are not. These ones are more spaced out. And then you have her second outfit skirt, which is this over here, and it has like that belt, even though this is more of like a half belt where you like tie it over or whatever. And then it has the Union Jack, just like not the actual flag, just the stripes on it on half of the skirt. And this one has like the flag copy and pasted on half the skirt, and there's like the flap, and this one has the absence of a flap and like a little black stripe. And then this top actually comes from her artwork. It's like a black vest over like a off the shoulder white long sleeve shirt, and then the skirt is also in this artwork too. Then we have Yasmin's, which this top is honestly kind of similar. So you have like those little cutouts in here, which are what these are. And then she has that red tank with like the black fishnet over. It's a different type of like material in the PS2 than it is on the doll. The doll seems to be a little bit more metallic. And then she has like the handkerchief skirt, which I couldn't find in game, so I thought that this one was like maybe the most accurate match, especially comparing it to the artwork, where it doesn't seem to match the doll's one at all, but the shirt does. And then this regular black mini skirt, I didn't know where to put it. Now we have Rock Angelz, and this is Chloe's doll, which matches her artwork. And she doesn't have her jacket in the game unless her jacket is similar to Roxy's. But we do have her pants, which it has the stitch detailing. It just doesn't have the denim differences in the pockets, so that's a big difference. And they are skinny jeans, which I believe they are on her doll. I don't know. I would assume so. And then we have her red snakeskin boots, which these ones are a little bit more burnt orange, but that's what these ones are supposed to be. And it all matches her artwork. And then this is Jade's doll. We have the top, even though this one matches her prototype better, but the jeans still match. It still has like the little chain over here, and then it has like the distress and the belt. And then these shoes are different, but these shoes match in the movie what Chloe wears, and also this artwork right here, which this top from the artwork also kind of matches this too. And then we do have for sure Roxy's leather jacket, because you can see that it's like the same shape with like the belt buckle right here. And I believe that these are supposed to be Roxy's pants, because you can see the detailing on the side, which matches this detailing, even though this one is white. and this is brown. But it's brown on the artwork even though her pants are black. And then next we have Sasha's, which you can see the panels on the side. Hers are red in the doll form, but in the game they are like this dark brown, which matches her movie stuff. And then it's kind of this dark burnt sienna kind of shade again over here on her artwork. Her pants are the same, like style wise. You can definitely see like the inspiration with like the little brand things, even though she only has a few on the doll one. And then these are a red stripe where these are a brown stripe. They are kind of a reddish brown on her artwork, which they are brown in the movie. And then she has these brown skin boots, which don't really match either of them, but I think that is what she wears in the movie. And then we have Yasmin, which this doesn't really truly match what Yasmin wears, but this does say in the game that it's like a rose petal top. Like the top by itself says rose petal. When you put the jacket on, it says something different, but considering this is meant to be a rose petal and she's the only one who has a rose on her shirt, I thought that it was the closest match. We don't really have pants for her. And then these shoes kind of match her artwork, so I put it on here. And then these are the prototype dolls. So you can see where there's like the black and white and the cutouts on Jade's doll that you can see right here. And it's a different shirt than what's here. And then the detailing on Roxy's pants. Now for Dynamite, there's not a lot of similarities between these ones other than maybe this top, which you can see the detailing on the side, which is the same 3 rows. I believe that's 3 rows. The top zips up a lot further than this one does. They all just have pants. These are like skin tight pants, but it matched the artwork, which is why I did that. Like put it on this page. And then you can see the detailing on the side and the artwork as well. And then the boots, you can't really see the boots on the doll form, and I haven't really seen pictures of just the dolls, like of just the boots. So I went based off the artwork again, which you can see with these like silver details. And then Megan's very clearly supposed to be green, and it's not green. There is this collar that she has, which they do have right here, and then it is shorter, which hers is shorter too. I assumed that these pants were supposed to match hers because she has like that waist thing right here that Chloe does not, which also has a lot more detailing that's missing in over here. And then her artwork seems to have these low boots because you can't see like a boot line in her art, so that's why I put them here. But her artwork is even green and her doll is green and there's no green. And then Nevra's has the same problem. Hers is supposed to be purple, which her doll is, her artwork is, and none of this is purple. She does have like really short booty shorts, so I put those right over here. And then she has the thigh highs. These are the like longest ones, and I put the one with the zippers because it matches the artwork. For the top, it doesn't truly match. Her artwork has the gloves, which this one does, but the doll doesn't unless the doll is supposed to, and that's just the picture that I got, but it doesn't particularly match. And then these are extra ones from the line that didn't match any of the dolls. Onto Ooh La La. As you can see already, the colors don't match the dolls, they match the artwork. So the top is Chloe's top, and we do have like the blue here. It doesn't have the same detailing that the doll does, but you can see the detailing on the artwork, which I really like that detailing. It kind of makes this doll line in the game better than like the actual dolls, in addition to being a different color. The skirt is, I think, supposed to be the same, but it looks completely different here. This is like a chevron pattern where it's tan and black with like a bow. That's not like here. This is like brown with like the belt and then kind of some like pleats, which you can see in the artwork that that's what that is, but it is missing the bow. And then the socks match the top, even though they're both black on the artwork and on the doll. Chloe's dress is this blue dress, which the style is like the same, where it has like the big bow and it's like all frilly and stuff, which is what the artwork also shows. but the color of it takes from the artwork where it's like this light blue color instead of this really deep navy. So this is Dana's outfit, and it is like this deep burgundy, which this I think is trying to be that, but it pulls more from like the purple tones of the artwork. And then so does the top. This is like a v-neck where the artwork is also a v-neck, but over here her like actual top is more like black and ruffly. And you can still kind of see the ties though on this top where this also has it, and so does the artwork. And then her dress is completely different. This is like a black like velvet dress, or like a really deep navy, and it's a v-neck. And this one is like black straight across with red detailing and red gloves. I don't think either of them wear red gloves. Yeah, and I don't know what Kumi's were supposed to be like originally, but I assume that they all three had black gloves. I don't know them, but it doesn't even really truly match the artwork other than the fact that this is black with a bow and this is black with a bow, because there's not a lot of red detailing here other than her lipstick, which does match. And then this is Kumi's. Right off the bat, you can see that Kumi's primary outfit is completely different color-wise. There's no I Kiss Paris design on this. The jacket is purple on the doll, and it's blue here in the PS2 version. The top that is underneath it is light blue with this blue detailing, and this is a white with like I Kiss Paris tank top thing. But it does match the artwork, where she has like the blue jacket and then the light blue undershirt. And then the skirt on the doll is green with purple details and a purple flower, where in the PS2 it is a black skirt with blue detailing and a pink flower, which matches her artwork. And then it has like the blue socks, even though she has black socks in the artwork and in the doll. Her dress is like this scarlet color, but it is a halter top with like a three-tiered skirt, which is still a halter top with a three-tiered skirt here. There is a difference in like fabric, because up here it's supposed to not have any details and it's supposed to be satin, but it's not, and it's also different in color. The details are like the more dark berry scarlet tones, but the rest of it is like this like mauve purple kind of, which matches the artwork, especially with like the detailing up here, but it still has like the three-tiered skirt. Okay, so moving on to the final line in the game is Midnight Dance. And this is Yasmin's Midnight Dance, which you can see has the long sleeve and the denim, which the doll is actually not as detailed as the artwork is. The artwork has like this really shiny fabric, which is not what the doll is. And honestly, none of them are going to have the shawls, probably because it's harder to animate, so I understand that. But these sleeves are like a sheer, whereas in the PS2 it is like a solid sleeve, same as with the artwork. It's missing this little collar detail in the PS2 version from the artwork, which isn't even in the doll. And then this is more like a really long skirt thing. It almost does look like a top with pants instead of like a dress over pants, where this looks like a dress over pants, and this is like an actual skirt. So is this, and it has like that belt detailing right here, which is the same in the artwork that the doll is completely missing. The pants are a different color. This is more like a distress jean, where these are like a true blue jean with like a knee patch, which the artwork has the knee patch even though it's on a different leg. And this is the correct form of Yasmin because her freckles over here. So I don't know where that came from, unless it's just because her legs are crossed in the artwork. She does have her mask, which this mask looks more like the one on the doll than it does in the artwork, so that's good. It is the same colors as the artwork, but it's the same style as the doll, where it has like this part's the blue down here, where this is purple, and in the middle is gold, so it's half gold, half blue, where this is like purple around the eyes and then the gold in the middle. But I like the pant detailing in the PS2 version better than in the doll version, where it's kind of just lacking here. And then this is probably one of my favorite Megan dolls of all time. I will not shut up about her ever. It does match pretty well and translates pretty well from the doll form to the PS2 version. This doesn't look like it's a dress. It looks like it's a long sheer top, almost maybe like connected over the pants, but the detailing in the jeans is really where it shines. This is more like red, where this is like more of like a berry tone, which matches the rose on her shawl. But it's that really dark denim with like the white thread, and then this is the black ruffles. And then over here on the artwork, you can also see that there too. Even though there's less artwork detail, even though there's less ruffle details on the artwork than there is in the PS2, which matches the doll version better. Her top, like I said, this definitely looks like a dress, but you still can see like the black sheer like sleeves, which she does have in the PS2. And then you can also see like the cap sleeves in the PS2, which you can see underneath there from her shawl on the doll. The colors are also the same. This does have the little bit more sheer than this does, but this does match the artwork, not in color, but in style, where you can see like the sheer sleeves and then the cap sleeves, and then definitely the baby doll style design. So that one's pretty good. And then her mask, which she doesn't really have the details on the mask in the artwork, but it does match the dolls pretty well with like the black up top. And then this is kind of like a, really don't know what color to call that. Even though this is like white in the doll version, it's not completely the same, but it's pretty close. And then Fiona's, you can definitely see the skirt over the pants. It has like that little black ruffle detail here, which is here. And you can see the frayed edges of the skirt that the doll has and how it's like over top. It's supposed to be layered, even though it's low poly. I promise you this shirt does look like this underneath this, but this was the best photo that I could find with the dolls wearing the masks. But it does have like the little bell sleeves, even though this one is opaque and this one is sheer. She does have that little detailing on her neck and the detailing on the bust, so that's pretty good. And then these are definitely like slacks that you would wear to the office kind of material, where these look to be a shinier material. Kind of like the artwork. The artwork does have like some neck ruffle design, which is missing in the PS2 and in the doll, but it's pretty similar. There's a lot more details on her top sleeves than it is on the PS2, but you can still see the layered skirt with the pants. And then her mask is the same shade. It's both blue, even though this is like a different shade of blue, and she does have that in her artwork too. But you can see the swirls, which are up here, and then it has like the polka dots on it, and then the part near her nose. So they did a pretty good job putting that in the PS2 version. And then there's two dresses that weren't in the doll line that I wanted to include. They're just plain black dresses, which they're pretty, but I don't know what they belong to. And so that is all of the differences between the PS2 fashion lines and the dolls that they were inspired by. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know which ones surprised you, shocked you, your thoughts and opinions about what could have been different, what they should do differently if they were to remaster or re-release this game or whatever. And then also tell me in the comments below which line is your favorite. And then stick around because I'll be doing this for the next 3 games. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys.